Howdy ladies and gentlemen, Jake here at Walkie Farm, at the Thaguna Farm, and Vumbi here separated himself from the mob down the back of the farm, which we didn't want him there, so we brought him back. But it looks like because he spent a day or two away from Bomvu, who's 2 years his elder and horned, looks like there might be a contest, a challenge, but Vumbi's marginally larger now, and he's throwing dirt, very vocal, dribbling. The Jacobson is doing lots of signalling. So I don't know if Bomvu's, oh there you go, throwing a bit of dust. I don't know if Bomvu's cows he's with there are ovulating. I doubt it. Everything here is bred as far as I'm concerned. I'm making sure there's some trees nearby that I can run behind and scatter up. But I thought I'd flick the camera on and set the scene a bit and try capture fireworks if anything happens. We're at the farm here in Thaguna today. We just drafted all the cattle through, which is how I realised Vumbi wasn't in the mob. Everyone was accounted for except him. And we've pulled all the calves except two off because they're quite large. We've had a couple calves just last week, so obviously those calves will need time with their mum. And we've cut out 15 fat cows that we're going to be sending off to market to sell on Monday. So we'll keep them in the yards and feed them some straw and stuff for the next 3 days until they're picked up. It's dry, quite a bit of dry matter in this paddock left. Ground cover's not too bad. Down the back you might be able to see the volume change and the green tinge. We've got a lot of nice leafy plant matter on the deep-rooted perennials down there, the phalaris. So once we send off these fat cows, and that'll take over half the stocking rate pressure off this farm, because we'll be left with probably 8 cows and a bit over a dozen calves and a few bulls, and then we'll turn the cattle back in to start grazing around those back river flats there, a bit lower, and it's been rested for a few months. It's my first time of selling animals into the commodity market. A couple of years ago I had about a dozen Frisian steers that I'd raised as bottle calves, and I sent them to the markets and they got sent back. No one wanted them. We ended up, that was the first time I ever processed animals through the butchery that were not air quotes finished, but we ended up mincing and sausaging them all, and ended up with really good quality product and really good economics. So we don't do that anymore. We don't stress so much if an animal's finished or not. We sort of need to manage the farm and the pastures, and those small goods, those sausages and minces we sell a lot of. But the fat cows that I drafted out today are too heavy. They're between probably 630 kilos and 780 was the heaviest that we weighed. And the abattoir that services us, which is really the only one we have local access to, has told us that they're not accepting anything over 600 kilograms anymore. I could have probably picked 1 or 2 out for processing, but we decided just to fill the truck up, send them to the abs. There's a lot of stock going through the yards. I think the sale yards had, Barney had something like 6,500 yesterday, and Wagga had 7,000 or 8,000, just huge numbers going through at the moment and fetching pretty good money, which is another reason we're going to send them off. Really, it's gotten to the point that these animals are currently liabilities for me because I'm running out of feed. I'm not going to be feeding out hay on this farm, and hasn't rained for a long time. And cash is an asset, so rather than holding on to these liabilities, we're going to cash flow them and turn them into a cash asset and move forward. Vumbi is in good nick, isn't he? Being very vocal. I don't know if we're going to get the fireworks I was anticipating. Bomvu over there is posturing. Look at his head down. He's swaying side to side. He's definitely strutting his stuff and letting Vumbi know he's not too bothered. There is 2 fences between them, but they're only single strand hot wires. They're what I call my poor boy fences. So these bulls would happily, easily, quickly get through that if they so chose. Under through over wouldn't matter too much for these boys. Don't look at me. I'm your friend. They know where the gate is. There's a little gateway. Just walked into a spider web. Anyway, this might end up being a bit of a drawn out video. I'll just film it till they meet, and if they have a bit of a tussle, we'll document that for prosperity's sake. I'm going to try to stay somewhere near a tree that I can get behind and scramble up. I've never had an issue with any of these bulls being directly aggressive with myself or any person on the farm. Cows and calves are the ones that we generally treat with a bit more distance. But it's not that they're aggressive towards me, it's that I'm easy collateral for a couple, you know, let's call them 700, 800 kilo bulls. Here we go. Ooh, it's Vumbi tuck and tail. Anyway, I'm going to end this video, and if it kicks off, I'll start filming again, and I'll upload it straight after this one on the timeline on YouTube, and I'll call it part 2. You'll be able to find it.